want to thank each of you for taking the time to be here and support our campaign, especially during this busy summer season. For the past 50 years, St. Paul has proudly stood as the friendliest city in the United States for the Hmong and Southeast Asian communities. Yes, this city has not opened its doors, but has actively supported refugees in thriving and succeeding. Today, the children of those refugees are excelling as doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, and politicians. Now is the moment for us to take a bold action and electing Kaohly Van Her, the daughter of refugee parents, to lead the city of St. Paul, Minnesota into a new era of progress. Yes, thank you. Under her leadership, we will transform St. Paul into a dynamic hub for business, a secure community, secure city for all residents, and an exceptional city that we can all be proud of. Thank you. So my next speaker is Paul Wayne. Welcome you to the stage. Where are you?
Oh, baby!
Hey! Hey! Give it up for Kaohly! I'm a labor organizer, and I just want to say a few good words about what Kaohly's done at the Capitol from our work, from the work I see. A few years ago, Kaohly got put on a pension commission. And I don't think she knew what the hell a defined benefit pension was. But she dug in, she asked hard questions, she came up with solutions, and our St. Paul teachers are so happy with the work that Kaohly did for them on their pension. That kind of work is what we need here. Kaohly many times would chew my ass and call out hard questions that I wasn't addressing. And what we need in the city of St. Paul is maybe less cheerleader, more nose to the grindstone, fix these problems we have in downtown St. Paul, fix these problems now, drug use and homelessness, make our communities the best place to raise our families, and that's this, and get more money out right now, scan this QR code, and give your money up so she can win.
I'm actually not the next speaker, but I'm wondering, is Muhammad Amin here? Because he's supposed to be our next speaker, but he's not here. So actually, I'm going to ask, is Chris Haas still here? Chris, are you still here? Chris? Can you come here? I want you to share a story about you and me with everybody before I let Ryan speak, and then I'll go after, okay? This is an impromptu, on the spot here. He was not asked ahead of time, but Chris is going to say a couple of words.
Hi everybody, thanks. So those of you that don't know me, I was in the leadership of ST64 PFL for like 10 years, something like that. And when Aaron Murphy went on to go on to the Senate, we had an opening. And I'll tell you that at the convention, I was strongly supporting Kaohly's competitor in that race. And over the course of that convention, by talking to Kaohly representatives, I realized, holy crap, she's special, right? She's really good at this stuff. And then when I got to work with her, when she took on the role, there's nobody that's been a harder worker in the legislature in Minnesota. And I'm just proud of her. I'm proud of her values. I'm proud of her dedication and her work ethic. And I'll be honest with you, I think St. Paul needs a kind of a change, right? We need something somebody that's going to go in there that's going to put the city back on track again. And so I'm just so happy she decided to run. I hope that you all are as well, but Kaohly is very special, and so she convinced me back in 2018, was it? Oh my gosh, already. 2018, and I look forward to supporting her in this, so thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Ryan Winkler, and I do not live in the city of St. Paul. But I-94 is now open, and you can get to St. Paul. I decided to drive over from Golden Valley and support my very good friend Kaohly for being the next mayor of the city of St. Paul. Chris, thank you for getting that all lined up in 2018 at that convention. I met Kaohly soon after. I was running for the state house again. I wanted to be the House Majority Leader. I was meeting with everybody who was coming into the Minnesota House, and I knew from the first meeting with Kaohly that she had something to offer in leadership in the city and the state legislature that very few other people had to offer. And what she has, first of all, is heart. She believes with her heart, with her convictions, with her passion, with her belief that everybody should have an opportunity to make the best life for themselves as they possibly can, and that we do this by working together. And most Democrats have these views, right? Most Democrats have these beliefs. But not every Democrat has an understanding of finance, has an understanding of business, have an understanding of how markets work. And not every Democrat has worked their way up from a childhood refugee in rural Wisconsin to the kind of success that she and Con and her daughters have seen in this life. She has lived the American dream. She knows how to expand the American dream for so many other people, and she does it with her whole heart. Kaohly, it is my honor to be here in support of you for St. Paul Mayor. This is an act of courage on your part. It is easy to stand up to Donald Trump if you're a Democrat living in Minnesota. It is much harder to stand up and say we need a change in the mayor's office in St. Paul when it's one of our friends. It takes a huge amount of courage to do that. I want to thank everyone who's here who is taking an act of courage in supporting her, in contributing to her. It is not easy to do that against an incumbent mayor, but you are showing your courage in supporting this woman of courage and heart, and I ask you to keep doing it. Now, last thing, I'd like to see a show of hands of everyone here who has already donated to Kaohly for mayor. If your hand is not up, I am not trying to single you out, but the food doesn't pay for itself, the campaign doesn't fund itself, and you need to find the QR code and make a donation tonight. You'll forget tomorrow, you'll probably forget in an hour, but if you do it right now, if you take out your phone right now and scan the QR code, if your hand was not up, you will make a donation right now and it will make a difference. Match Kaohly's courage with your own commitment right now, and she will be the next mayor of St. Paul. And now, the star of the show, my friend, Kaohly.
Thank you, Ryan. So I want to first say thank you to everybody who came out tonight. My heart is so full right now, seeing so many faces of people that I know, that I care about, that I love, but also new faces who are showing up because you have the courage to be in this fight with me. So thank you for being here. Can you all hear me okay, or do I need to be louder? Louder? Okay, will you miss me calling out every single one of your names and how much I love each and every one of you? So I'm going to skip that part and go to the next part. It was really important for me to have Yvette and John's video. Okay, exactly. Because when people ask me why I jumped in so late into this race and why it is that I decided to do this, and what I will tell you, it is because after Melissa was assassinated, after John and Yvette were shot, it made me reevaluate where I could go do the greatest good for the greatest number of people. But Melissa always said to us, as somebody who I campaigned across the state with her, she never had to do that, but she worked across the state because it mattered for us holding the majority. And so she used to say to me, these seats do not belong to us. That we have to fight every single time in order for us to earn the right to represent people. And as I was sitting there thinking about what she had said to me, I thought about what was happening in St. Paul. and the number of conversations that I've had with my good friend Melvin about what I needed to see different in this city, because I saw too many people having issues around being housed and having affordable housing, businesses that were closing down, businesses that wanted to open up here and having challenges doing that the ability for us to have people invest into our city and the challenges of doing that. And I thought about these things and I had conversations with him, and there wasn't a plan to do something different. And I thought that the only way that I could change the trajectory of where we were going is if I got into this race. It was a really tough decision to make, but I also understood that I never wanted to be the mayor of St. Paul. I wasn't thinking like, this is the next office that I want. But I thought about who needed me. And right now, St. Paul needs someone who is going to dig in, be willing to go into the weeds, look at the issues that are in front of us, and say that I will run government differently. I know, this is not going well here. That I will run government differently. I am somebody who believes that when we look at a city budget, that we should not just be looking 1 year out and saying, what are we going to try to get done this year? That we should be looking at our expenses and our revenues coming in and saying, how are we planning for the next 5 years from now, from 10 years from now? That we should know that our city has hundreds of millions of dollars in deferred maintenance, and how are we going to take care of that? That we should know that our parks and recs and our libraries now not having the resources that they need, that they're closing at 2 o'clock on some days, not even opening on Sundays. How are my kiddos going to get to the library to use the resources that they need? How are parents going to get access to resources that they need in order to secure jobs, in order to get online? That our families are struggling right now, and we are not doing right by them. How are people going to hold on to their jobs when a Cub Food closes and we lose all of these jobs within our city? That we can't then open up new businesses, because businesses are telling me that we are the hardest city to actually do business in. That we have more hurdles and more hoops that they have to jump through when they want to just invest in this city. We have to run our government differently. So I'll be really honest, I don't have a shiny new project that I want to put out there and tell you all, look what I'm going to be doing so that the national stage can look at us. But what I do have is the grit, the determination, the skill, and the ability to dig into doing city correctly. Being able to look at our budgets, being able to look at our resources, and being able to say, you know what, we don't have enough revenues coming in. How do I grow our tax base so that the current homeowners are not bearing the entire burden of property taxes? You know, you made me forget my other point. I had something really good to say. You know, and so there's much that we have to do in this city, and I'm ready to do it. I love this city. This city is the city that allowed my family to break the cycle of poverty in 1 generation. That when my family came here, I grew up in Wisconsin, but my grandfather was actually the first Hmong police chaplain in the country. He also was the pastor of the George Street Church. And so on the west side, I grew up coming to visit him and seeing the change in our city. And when our family wanted to build wealth, it was the city that gave them $1 houses to do that. And their ability to build wealth, because they got these $1 houses, the city had the vision to do that. Not only did we revitalize homes that were not being used in neighborhoods that were falling apart, but we allowed people to build wealth. I want to do the same thing with businesses. Somebody should not be coming in and putting $150,000 of public dollars into a building and not own that building, then have to walk away, that building goes under. We should help people build wealth. We should absolutely be making sure that we leverage all of our city resources so that where buildings are sitting and not being used, how does the city acquire this? I'm thinking about building an urban wealth fund. We've seen this done in countries in Asia and in Europe, around Hamburg's shorefront, around their oceanfront, around Singapore's transit in Copenhagen, that we've seen this done. We need to decide that we're going to have new revenue sources coming in, which means building an urban wealth fund is something that is really important to me so that we can invest in our city, leveraging our assets in order to grow our city. And so I am ready for the challenge, and I hope that you all come along with me, and that you all know that even when there's not something shiny and in the news and saying what a great thing we're doing, that you know that I am rebuilding this city from the bottom up with every single person that is here with me today. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. And I will be sitting around if anybody has anything that they want to talk to me about, because I will meet with anybody and talk to anyone. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for being here.